Duelists. How are we all? Hope you're doing well. Welcome. It's so weird introducing it that way. But yeah, look, we're going to be diving into the new archetype ASHENED, which has recently came to the game in the latest pack. Alongside cards that can help your bell become even more crazier, you know, with their XZ monster. I say I'm talking Varudras, the absolute dominant, overbroken XZ monster. But I ain't gonna lie, as long as the artwork looks, you know what, let's just set it as the background, because what a bloody hell not. Let's do it. Look, Konami, if you ever want to sponsor me, look, you hand me bad hands all the time. It'd be nice if you hand me a good hand. But if you ever do want to sponsor me, by all means, be greatly appreciated. Also, check out this beast. This one right here. Look how good he looks. I ain't even joking. I understand why people want to run it in your bell deck. But in today's episode, we're going to be going over the ASHENED replays. Obviously, some of the duels that I've played up against. I only saved the kind of really back and forth best ones. Occasionally you will get clapped with Ashen because realistically it's not the best archetype, but you know, back in the days, when Elden Ring dropped, I initially played it for a couple of hours with my cousin. We grinded and then he stopped playing it, so I stopped playing it, and then we returned back to Elden Ring to dominate it along with the DLC. I'm an Elden Lord somehow, considering I don't play Dark Soul games, never played Dark Soul games. If I'm being completely honest, I beat Liza P and I've beaten Elden Ring. That's the best you're getting from me. And the second best is ASHENED. Enjoy. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to go over the deck profile. I'm going to be honest, trying to keep this at 40 is hard, man. You've got Maxi, you've got Ash, you've got Modolchi, you've got Infinite Permanence, you've got Effect Veiler, you've got DD Crow, you've got everything under the bloody sun that you could potentially think of. I have had to reduce this down into the harshest, most critical, best card play. I wouldn't say this is going to be like master material, but this is the best build I can come up with. We run triple Maxi, we have triple Priestess, we run one Shaman, one Spearhead. Molchami, you can run more if you want to. Personally, I run one because I run Crossout Designator and it is somewhat kind of handy, but realistically, if I have to go first and they happen to activate and have Crossout in hand, at least I can cross out the Molchami. The only thing is, it does obviously mean they potentially could activate Maxi, but it's worth having the cross out there. I'm hoping, Konami, if you're listening, cross out. Put it back to 3. We need it. We need it more than ever right now. Okay, carrying on. We have Fenrir, double Unicorn, which I don't really see much of the Kashtira, but they're there just for the added support. We run one Hero, one King, 2 Vados, 1 Nibiru, 2 Bonfire. We also have 2 Extinguishing the Ashened. By running the Extinguishing the Ashen, you can send a Pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard, then add a one level 5 or higher Pyro. So normally you would send Vados. Vados returns back to hand as well. Also, you have the great effect of itself being able to banish the Fusion Summon from your hand or field. Personally, I think Super Poly's better because you're putting Vados onto your opponent's side of the field, so you preferably want it to be on their side of the field and then be able to fusion off of it. If they have gone first and you're playing up against decks like Lab, for example, being able to get Vados out with 2 monsters of your own and then fusion summoning into the boss monster is great, because 1, it's unaffected by Vados going to the graveyard, and 2, it can destroy a spell or trap card your opponent controls. Vados can actually bother the board by leaving your opponent's field to the graveyard. Leading into that, the fields, Well, then we have Pressured Plant, which will give me access. These cards are just solely to be able to bait out the Ash Blossoms. We then have Obsidian, the Ashen City. To be honest, it's more for the Ash Blossom and the Ghost Ogre. But you got Obsidian, the Ashen City as well, which is the most crucial card because this card is required to be able to special summon Vados. You could run Vados at 3. I prefer running it at 2. I feel like 3 might be a bit too much. Even running it at 2, there was occasions where I'd brick into 2 of them, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Kashtira Birth you'll be familiar with. While you control a Kashtira monster, if they activate a spell card, you can target 3 cards in their graveyard and banish them. You have Super Poly. Everyone's familiar with Super Poly, my basically favourite card. Great access for... It helps out, especially against Dragoon. With Dragoon being a Master Duel, you know, all you have to do is summon an Ashen monster, Super Poly, Bida Bam Boom. There you go, you got yourself a Dragon Stapelia, which is a kind of negate, and Stab and Venom if it gets destroyed. You can nuke the field. Okay, Call by, you're familiar with. Cross out, you're familiar with. Awakening of Vados, you would place... No, right, listen to me here. When you activate Awakening of Vados, do not play it on your side of the field. Play it on your opponent's side, because that way you get access to Vados, the boss monster. And then what you do is trigger Vados, destroy the field spell, trigger the field spell's effect to special summon into Priestess. Unless you have Priestess in hand, because you can special summon it prior. One thing that I occasionally make mistakes on, not so much now because I've played it a lot more, do not bring Vados to their side of the field until you have special summoned the Ashen cards from your hand to the field. Because while the field spell's out, you can special summon the Ashens. But if you go Vados straight off the bat, you can only normal summon the Ashen monster. They all have their own benefits. You have Priestess, which allow you to add an Ashen card from your deck to your hand, which gives you access to future cards you potentially will end up using, whether it's Awakening of Vados, Ashen for Eternity. You also have Shaman of the Ashen City. Not often I use this effect, hence why it's at 1. Spearhead, while your opponent controls the Vados, most of their effects require you to have Vados on your opponent's side of the field. So, while Vados is on your opponent's side of the field, you can bring out Spearhead, trigger Spearhead to tribute itself to return a monster on the field to the hand. Potentially, I kind of use it if I'm able to get an infinite permanence on Kit Kalos. In one of the duels, I ping Kit Kalos back. But yeah, Vados, when you special summon to your opponent's side, you can set one Ashen continuous trap, which you'd either go out for Ashen for Eternity. Normally, I'll go for Endlessness because it is technically the fusion card. And this staging area just makes me think of Radon. I know Radon's not a dragon, but hey, it's riding a tiny ass donkey. If you've never played Elden Ring, please give it a go. Try it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You got this, which will be able to add a Vados Eruption Dragon of Extinction or one Ashen monster from your graveyard to your hand. Preferably, I try to hold out on the trap just in case your opponent goes with a Call by the Grave, and then you can, yeah, ping it back. Extra deck, my Dragon Garura, Stab Venom, Dragon Stapelia. We have Embers of the Ashen, so if you fusion summon into Embers of the Ashen, you can actually add the field spell back to your hand and then activate it again. Vados, like I said before, cannot be destroyed by card effects, or your opponent cannot target it with monster effects. Great thing about SP can't do shit against it. So if this card is fusion summon, you can destroy a spell or trap card your opponent controls. And also, when your opponent activates a card effect on the field, you can send one face-up Ashen card you control to the graveyard, destroy that card. The good thing about these being continuous traps, you can sack off the trap cards to be able to negate. Obviously, it's only once per turn, though. Baron, it's just in case I have... Well, initially I used to run Ash Blossom, so Baron could actually come out of this deck. So scrap Baron, add something else that you potentially want to run. Just go for a level 4 XZ if you really need to. But take into account when you activate Awakening of Vados and the Extinguishing the Ashen, they lock you into Pyro monsters. So hence why you run Infernal Flame Banshee. I had a look at the Pyro XZ monsters to level 4 and there's literally 3 in existence. So hopefully we get some more Pyro XZ support. Baguska, everyone's familiar with this, it's like a doorway to Zeus. Zeus, Typhon, Masquerina. So if I wanted to get rid of 2 Ashen, if they got infinite permanence or effect Veiler, I could play into Masquerina, keep one on the field, and it would allow me to play into SP. Verte, you're familiar with, opens the door to a Super Poly play. And then Underworld Goddess, just in case I have enough bodies on the board but cannot pull off my combo. But yeah, it does help. Alright, let's get into the replays. Okay, I bricked hard here. I think this was the point where I was... Oh, okay, you can't check decks while in this. Alright, no worries. So this was Lilith. They went Breakthrough Skill, Ring of Destruction, Infinite Permanence. Special Summon Diabolus. And I was thinking, okay, this might not be too bad. We might be able to sustain something here. So we went Awakening of Vados. Triggered the effect. Played the field spell into the field spell zone. Activated the other spell card to send... I'm going to be honest here. Yeah. When you do this, you could go with King and then add King back, but special summon King first, then special summon Vados, and then while you control, your opponent controls the Vados, King can trigger its effect to special summon an Ashen. But yeah. So you special summon an Ashen monster from your hand, and then if you control... I don't really special summon Ashen from the hand. While they control Vidos, I only special summon from the deck, because it opens up to... That's where it kind of blocked me. I got the breakthrough skill, which negated my king, and I was like, okay, Vidos, special summon, destroy, set the trap. Activated effect, special summon Shaman, Priestess. Priestess gave me field spell, and then I set 5 on the back row. The good thing about this, during the end phase, you were able to target one of the Obsidian, the Ashen City, return it to the deck, and then draw 1 card. Well, place it on the bottom of the deck, return to the deck, makes no difference. Deck gets shuffled anyway. Then draw 1 card. Alright. Based upon this play of action, I was like, what do I go with? So I triggered off the trap, and I was like, damn, Super Poly got me again. And then they went into Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, and I was thinking, alright, no worries, we could bring out Vidos. Vidos triggers the effect to destroy a spell of trap cards, and I was just like, right, we can nuke the board and destroy a spell of trap cards. Unfortunately, they had activated Waking the Dragon, and I didn't expect that to be the case, and that's just my unfortunate bad luck. So with that kind of situation, we were able to activate the Ashen for Eternity to return Vidos, and then destroy the Dragoon off of our Vidos. I should probably... Okay, we'll call this one Eruption Dragon, and then this one's Endless Darkness. And then they surrendered. But there are... The final duel of this video is one of the best. Genuinely, is one of the most craziest duels you will ever see. But like, some of the decks we played up against, some are meta, some are not meta, some of them are a mixture, you know... Ranked is a war zone. It really is. Especially now with obviously Molchami, the Maxi, and everything. I'm going to be honest with you here, yeah? Before this video starts. I'm enjoying commentating over these replays more than I do recording me playing the game. Solely for the fact I feel like I can get more. And I can keep the conversation flowing with you all. But anyways, let's play. So. My opponent went first. They went Valmonica. I triggered off the Molchami. Taking this into account, Valmonica's really good, but they need their field spell to be able to take control of an opponent's monster. But obviously, fortunately enough, we didn't have a monster. So trigger the effect, drop the card, set the pendulum scale, trigger the effect to add it back to hand. Brought out their monster. Pop the field spell, special summon Vidos, set the trap card. They activate the spell card, which gives you a choice. I said take 500 damage and add a card. The thing that's scary is when they bring out their link monsters, they can trigger the spell and trap card effects once more again. So now you got this card. We go with the effect. It protects itself by removing 3 Valmonica. They're called resonance counters. I keep saying Valmonica counters, but yeah. Remove 3 resonance counters to prevent the destruction. So then it comes into our play, so we activate Awakening of Vados to be able to add. I'm going to be honest here. Yeah. Only if you ever do add an alternative card, make sure you got Vidos in hand already. Because with Vidos, you can destroy the field spell and special summon a monster. So bringing out Priestess. I was testing the water to see if they had like a infinite permanence or something, but we were in the clear. So then we set the trap card by using Vados' effect. Trigger the spell card. This... Yeah. They triggered the trap card to destroy my trap card, which was a continuous. Returned the monster back. If they had not returned my spearhead, we would have been fine and we would have played into Vados, the Dragon of the Endless Darkness. But yeah. So there we go. Once it's destroyed, you can special summon a Ashened. Triggers the effect to target a trap card to apply the effect of the trap card. The Ghost Ogre comes into play. Honestly, the amount of times I get hit with hand traps is mental. Like, on a continuous basis. Yeah, but that's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. I get it, man. I get we're in a point where hand traps are like make the world go round. Do you know what I mean? While we've got the field spell, we special summon our monsters back, tribute it off, return Vidos back to our hand, activate the spell card to send our Vidos to the graveyard to return it back to the hand. Activate the effect to fusion summon, which allowed me to play into the one and only Darkness. Yeah, we're going to call this one Darkness, and then the other one Vidos, so you know what I mean. And then we punched the Link monster, because that was the biggest concern, because it was setting up to, like, play into their spell and traps numerous times. And we fortunately... the thing that sucks is the fact we didn't get Super Poly earlier, because you can use these trap cards. The Fusion Trap, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card and one Dark Pyro monster from the graveyard. All monsters your opponent currently controls become Pyro. So this would be good to be able to play Super Poly face down last turn, banish the trap, turn everything Pyro, and then Super Poly into one of the Ashened monsters. I probably would advise running Embers of the Ashened maybe at 2 just to have that added extra security, but it's entirely your decision. In this kind of play, Vados special summons, destroys. We trigger the spell card to be able to special summon. I don't think we even special summoned, did we? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. The only reason why I go for the special summon and obviously doing the Vados on their turn is that way if we do bring out another Ashen monster, which was Priestess can add another Ashen card. But also, when they come into play, we can trigger the effect to be able to negate. So when your opponent activates a card effect, you can send one face-up Ashen card you control to the grave, destroy that card. I messed up here because initially I was trying to dispose of the Gloomy, but obviously due to Masquerena it was negated. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then they were just struggling to get past it. We were able to bring this out, which would allow me to target 3, return them back, draw a card. And then I activate Super Polymerization here to fuse off these 2 Pyros, playing into the other fusion, Embers of the Ashened. And then we just proceeded to enter the battle phase. Obviously, you can add a field spell. You don't necessarily need to, but it does benefit because then you can kind of... It's a choice. You can either hold on to the field spell, or you can activate it and have the other field spell in the graveyard and trigger it at the end phase to return the field spell back to the deck. Well, bottom of the deck to be able to pick up a card. But yeah. Alright, here we go. So this was a hybrid between Tearlaments, Lightsworn, Horus, Yubel. It was an interesting duel, without a doubt. You know, everyone's familiar with how Tearlaments work. I was like, right, I've got one shot at this, yeah? Because now I know they've got Yubel in the graveyard. I need to be careful because my Nibiru is not going to work. I have to hit Kit Kalos. We cannot allow Tearlament Kashtira to come out. And then I was in this position where I was like, okay, well, how am I going to get past Phantom of Yubel? That's monster negation. I was thinking, right, what if I try bait it out? You know, I would have to go with the Kashtira first, because if I go with the Priestess, we cannot special summon the Kashtira. So I was like, we'll play it off, activate the Fenrir. And this Phantom of Yubel, I don't know why I said that weird. This Phantom of Yubel was not biting. I was trying to bait it out on so many occasions, and it wasn't having a nibble. So I triggered off the Fenrir to be able to banish a card. Phantom of Yubel will say bye-bye. Special summon, remove, ping the Kit Kalos back. And at that point I was thinking, right, don't attack here, because if you attack, you destroy that, and then you miss out on the opportunity to nuke the board. We have the Fusion card. The Fusion card requires you to have Vados. So, we let it play. Fenrir got played face down due to Fairy Tail. Was it Fairy Tail Luna? I think it's called. Oh, it's Fairy Tail Snow. Luna's the other one. Then they sent Wolf, special summon Wolf, activate King Sark. I was just like, no, 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 no. We cannot allow King Sark to play out. Had to play into Darkness. Triggered the effect of Vados and Darkness. Darkness destroys all spell and traps. Vados destroys all monsters on the field. They go special summon, and they come to realize they cannot target the fusion monster. Like, when it pops off, it's a good deck. It's just whether or not you can play it through. Because of the current hand traps and everything, it's brutal. Here we go. Okay, this was a very interesting deck. I ain't gonna lie. Playing up against Lab proved to be a bit of a challenge in somewhat form. But you got to be careful, because you run stuff like Madragon, Stab and Venom, Garura, and Dragostapelia. You got to be careful not to activate the cards that lock you into Pyros only. This, if this had not occurred with the summon limit, we would have popped off. We would have literally popped off. Summon limit wouldn't have obviously played. We would have went Vados. Vados would destroy Field Spell. Field Spell would have special summoned another Ashened. We would have played Super Poly. We would have brought out the boss monster, which would have bopped all the back row. Vados itself would have nuked the board. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. With summon limit restricting me, I was thinking, oh, damn, okay, they're going to lock me out of fusions, aren't they? Far. I was very wrong. They played into Heavy Storm Duster. I have never known a lab player to ever run this card, but wow. How annoying. So then they activated it during my end phase, popped the 2 cards which were giving me fusion potential, and absolutely dominated me. And from that point, Lab just absolutely steamrolled me, you know. Look, I don't know what your views are on Lab. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I physically hate playing against it. I think the whole recycling mechanic's a bit of a piss take, but it is what it is, you know. So lovely pops, and then we pop with our own monster. I don't think we could have really done much. Potentially, my only hope would have probably have been pulling this spell card, but you can only do it from your hand or field. Also, you may be wondering why I don't run this, Rekindling the Ashened. I don't run this because place one of your Ashen cards that is banished from your graveyard on the bottom of your main deck, except Rekindling the Ashen, then take one effect monster your opponent controls and it gets effects. Look, I get it, it can bait out Baron, you can bait out stuff. It just seems like too much. When you can run things like Droplet, you know, you could run this in a Horus package if you want. Initially, I did start with a Horus package, but then I didn't in the end. But yeah, the Horus support was obviously much more beneficial because you didn't really have to use the XE monsters. Horus cards had their own benefits to themselves. I might still return back to the Horus engine in this deck, but I'm just trying to become accustomed to how we play it. Because if you run Horus over... So yeah, if you run Horus over Kashtira, you have more chance of bricking into the other Horus cards. And that's something you don't want to happen. But it's a tough one because you've got to add more cards into the deck. You get access to extra field spell. Obviously, I would run one of the Horus field spell. I'd run 3 King Sark. Then you got, I think, 3 more Mseti. Then you probably add Happy, and then whatever the other one's called that gets the attack boost. I can't pronounce its name. I ain't even going to attempt. You know, there's another 9 cards you've got to implement into the deck. And 40 card Ashen build is hard enough. You probably could sack off the... Like, you got to think. You've got Fenrir, Kashtira, Unicorn. If you run 2, then that's 3 cards already. You've got Birth. You've got the field spell. There's 5. Where you got 3 King Sark, 3 Mseti. You've got Happy. You've got the other one. And then you got the field spell. So there's 9. It comes down to preference. I do think it does help to have it because if you go, both variants benefit because you can bait out an Ash, you can bait out an Effect Veiler. You know, Mseti can bait out the Ash, but realistically, you don't want to give up a card to drop Mseti to try get King Sark and you get Ash. You know, it comes down to preference. Okay. So, we pop the field spell, trigger the field spell to special summon ourselves Priestess. Priestess allows me to add. They go with Ash Blossom. I was thinking, I ain't got an out for this. In the world of Hand Trap City, this must be Tenpai. So I thought, okay, no worries. Oh my god, I got hit with Effect Veiler as well. I was just like, damn. Like, to be honest, this duel was really freaking good. It was. Honestly, it was one of the best I've actually had with experience at Ashen. But hand traps are so overused within good reason, but they're so hard. Like with these current decks, I was thinking Twin Twister. Oh man, the last duel I just got hit with that bloody Heavy Duster thing. I was thinking, what's going on? Why do these people run all of these cards? So I thought, right, we'll go Infinite Permanence on the Druids, no problem. Trigger our trap card to play into a fusion. Obviously, big old Darkness. Is it Endless Darkness? Comes out to play. Visuals are fantastic. Absolute beautiful deck it is. Twin Twister pops the 2 back cards. No problemo. Trigger the Vados to get rid of Druid Swarm. Druid Swarm can't target anything because obviously Endless Darkness is immune to that shit. Then we activate our spell card. This allows us to send a monster to the graveyard to re-add Vados. Double Vados was perfect. I was told at this point, I'm not sure what they meant. Someone in chat was saying if I had gone with King, we would have got an attack boost. So if I'd gone King and Vados, I'm not sure what they mean by how I would have had an attack boost, though. Because I would have still brought out the same monster. Okay, I don't know what they mean by that, but okay. So, we re-added the field spell, activated the field spell, and then proceeded to the battle phase for 29. Because at this point, this is where I was talking about how it's unfortunate Fuwalos's attack and defense weren't the other way around, because it would have been game. So I was thinking, you know what? I was getting a little overconfident, I ain't gonna lie. I was just like, you know what? Yeah, you ain't got no plays. You ain't got no plays. And I was thinking, nah. But everyone knows I'm sarcastically taking the piss, like, with this. Because anytime I'm on the upper hand, shit like this occurs. Where a super polymerization Dragostapelia hits me in the face. And then they proceed to the battle phase. And I'm thinking, well, what possibly could be worse? What could happen? Knowing me, a lot. Maxi. I was like, sick. So I threw my Charmy down there. And I was just like, alright, okay, we can survive. We're good, we're good. I was thinking, right, if they special summon monsters, we've got a chance of getting the Max C off. Someone did say in chat, well, you could have set the Max C. But, if I got Super Poly, I needed a card in hand. Lucky enough. Oh, okay. Look, I called this, yeah. When I activated this spell card on stream, I was just like, what's the betting? What is the odds of this guy in a possible 32 stack when he's already got one Ashen Grave? What's the chance of him pulling another? He pulled another. So, my heart was racing. I was thinking, oh my god, this game's bullshit. Oh my god, seriously, what's going on? I'm thinking, am I really about to lose? I literally had him against the rope. And then punched me again. And I'm thinking, oh no, if we take one more hit, it's all over. And guess what? I drew into the card when I needed it most. Pressured Planet. With that, I added Kashtira Unicorn. I special summoned Kashtira Unicorn knowing they would go for the negation. I normal summon Max C. Because this is the great thing about saving a monster. When you need it most, Verite will come in handy. Triggered the effect, played my own Super Poly. I was just like, how does it feel to see another Dragostapelia on the wrong side of the board? And I was just like, look, this duel was fantastic, mate. And then he surrendered and ruined it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope to be bringing these videos to you on a more often basis. Obviously, I'll be recording, the best duel replays for the channel. And basically showcasing whatever we go through. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourself. Have a great afternoon. Stay safe. Peace. Subscribe.